Okay. I'm typing this out on a throwaway account because my main is known by a few friends. And honestly, my hands are shaking so bad right now I can barely hit the keys. I never thought I'd be posting here. You read these stories and think, there is no way people are this delusional. Well, turns out they are. And they might be related to you. Background context is essential here, so please bear with me. I'm a 29-year-old female. I have a younger sister, Maya, who is 26. Growing up, the dynamic was textbook. I was the scapegoat. Maya was, and is, the golden child. If I got an A-, I wasn't trying hard enough. If Maya got a C, the teacher didn't understand her creative genius. I started working at 16 and bought my own car. Maya wrecked 2 cars by the time she was 20, and my parents just bought her new ones. Here's the crux of the issue. My maternal grandmother, Nana, saw everything. She was the only person in the family who didn't drink the Kool-Aid. When Nana passed away 3 years ago, she bypassed my mother entirely in her will. She left the bulk of her estate, including her fully paid-off, beautiful Victorian home in a high cost-of-living area, to me. Explicitly me. The will was ironclad. She stated in a separate letter that she knew I would respect the property and that I was the only one who had ever taken care of her without asking for money in return. I loved that woman more than anything. My mother was furious, apoplectic. She tried to contest the will, but her lawyer basically told her she'd just be burning money. So, for the last 3 years, I've been living in Nana's house. I've renovated it with my own money, I pay the taxes, and I live there with my husband, Mark, 32M. We are happy. Or we were until last night. Maya is getting married in 6 months to a guy she's known for maybe 4 months. He's an entrepreneur, which apparently means he has no job and a lot of debt. My parents are obsessed with the wedding. It's all they talk about. 2 days ago, I got a text from my mom. "Oh, P, please come over for dinner on Friday. Just the family. Dad is making his lasagna. We really need to discuss the wedding logistics. Please." My gut told me not to go. Every time they say family meeting, it usually means we need money. But, like an idiot, I wanted to believe maybe they just wanted to see me. I wanted to believe that maybe, just maybe, my mom wanted to bond. Mark couldn't come because he was working late, so I went alone. Big mistake. I pulled into the driveway of my childhood home, and the air just felt heavy. It was raining. A gray, miserable drizzle that soaked through my jacket the second I stepped out of the car. When I walked inside, the atmosphere was weirdly festive. Too festive. Maya was beaming, sitting at the head of the table. My dad looked at the floor. He never makes eye contact when Mom is plotting something. My mom was practically vibrating with excitement. We ate. Small talk. "How's work? How's Mark?" Then, the plates were cleared. My mom poured everyone a glass of cheap champagne, even though I said I wanted water. She clinked her glass with a spoon. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so, we have some incredibly exciting news. Maya and Chad have decided they want to start trying for a baby right after the honeymoon. I smiled politely. "That's great, Maya. Congrats." My mom continued. "But with the baby coming and Chad's business just, incubating right now, their apartment is just too small and too expensive." She turned her body fully toward me. Her eyes locked onto mine. It was that predator look, the one she used to give me right before grounding me for something Maya did. "OP," she said, her voice dropping to a serious, "we are adults" register. "We've been talking. You have Nana's house. It's a 4-bedroom. It's huge. You and Mark are child-free by choice, right? You don't need all that space. It's selfish to hoard it." I felt the blood drain from my face. My fingers started tingling. "Mom, what are you saying?" "We want you to sign the deed over to Maya. As a wedding gift. It's the only right thing to do. She needs the security for the baby. You have a great career. Mark has a great career. You two can easily afford a nice, modern condo downtown. Something more your speed." I stared at her. I looked at Maya, who was smirking, actually smirking, sipping her champagne. I looked at my dad, who was aggressively staring at a spot of marinara sauce on the tablecloth. "You want me to give Maya my house?" I asked very slowly. "A house worth close to $1 million? For free?" Maya chimed in then. It's not your house, OP. It's Nana's house. And Nana would have wanted the great-grandbaby to grow up there. You stole it from Mom, so really, you're just giving it back to the family. Plus, Chad hates the wallpaper, so we're going to have to gut it anyway. That was the breaking point. Something inside me snapped. It wasn't anger at first. It was absurdity. Pure, unadulterated absurdity. I started to laugh. I couldn't help it. A dry, hacking laugh that bubbled up from my chest. Oh my God. My mom slammed her hand on the table. Why are you laughing? This is serious. Your sister needs a home. I stood up, my chair screeching against the hardwood floor. My hands were shaking, but my voice was ice cold. I am laughing, I said, looking directly at my mother, because you are clinically delusional. Nana left that house to me because she knew, she explicitly knew, you would sell it or give it to Maya to destroy. I have the letter, Mom. I have the will. And the fact that you think I would evict myself and my husband to give $1 million asset to a 26-year-old who can't even pay her own phone bill is the funniest joke I have ever heard. My mom turned purple. You selfish, ungrateful little witch! I raised you. We are family. Family helps each other. Maya is pregnant. She said they were trying after the honeymoon, I shot back. She's not pregnant. And even if she was, that is not my problem. I grabbed my purse. My heart was hammering so hard I thought it would crack a rib. I'm leaving. Do not bring this up again. If you do, I'm blocking all of you. As I walked to the door, Maya threw her champagne glass. It shattered against the wall near my head. She screamed, I hope you die alone in that big house, you barren cow. I walked out into the rain, got in my car, and locked the doors. I sat there for 5 minutes just hyperventilating. I drove home in a daze. When I told Mark, he was ready to drive back over there and burn their house down, figuratively speaking. Since I got home last night, my phone has not stopped buzzing. I have 47 missed calls from my mom. My dad sent me a text, the first one in months, saying, please just consider it to keep the peace. Your mother is very upset. I have DMs from aunts I haven't spoken to in a decade calling me a greedy monster. Apparently, Mom spun a narrative that I promised the house to Maya years ago and am now reneging. I feel sick. I feel guilty, even though I know I shouldn't. They know exactly how to push my buttons. I just wanted a mom who loved me, you know? Instead, I got a banker who sees me as an ATM. I'm currently sitting in my kitchen, Nana's kitchen, drinking tea and watching the notifications roll in. I feel like I'm waiting for a bomb to go off. So, Reddit. AITAH for laughing in my mother's face and refusing to give up my inheritance? Time passed since last post. 4 days. Wow. Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who commented on the original post. I read every single reply. When you're in the fog of a toxic family dynamic, you really do start to question your own sanity. Having thousands of strangers tell me that I'm not crazy, it was the reality check I desperately needed. Because things have escalated. Badly. I thought my mom would give me the silent treatment for a few weeks. That's her usual MO. She ignores me until she needs something, then pretends nothing happened. But this time is different. The inheritance house is a massive, tangible asset, and apparently, they are desperate. The smear campaign. The morning after the dinner from hell, I woke up to my Facebook notification wall exploding. My mother had posted a long, rambling status update. She didn't tag me directly, but she didn't have to. Heartbroken today. It is so painful when you raise a child with love and sacrifice, only to watch them turn into a greedy, cold-hearted stranger. Please pray for my youngest, Maya, who is trying to start her family in the face of such selfishness. Some people value money over blood. Sad. Below it were dozens of comments from her church friends and distant relatives. Stay strong, Mama Bear, and karma will get her. It took everything in me not to reply with a screenshot of the will. But Mark took my phone away and told me, don't feed the trolls. It's what she wants. The peacekeeper. 2 days ago, my dad showed up. I was working from home in the front study, Nana's old library, when I saw his truck pull in. I debated not answering, but he's my dad. Part of me still wants to believe he's a hostage in that house, not a guard. I let him in. He looked terrible. Gray skin, bags under his eyes. He didn't hug me. He just stood in the foyer, wringing his baseball cap in his hands. "Oh, P," he started, his voice cracking. "Can we just talk? Rationally?" I crossed my arms. "If you're here to ask for the deed, Dad, you can turn around right now." It's not about the deed exactly," he lied. "It's about fairness. Look, your mother is climbing the walls. Chad's parents, they are wealthy people, OP. Old money. We had dinner with them last week. Mom might have implied that Maya was getting the Victorian as a wedding gift, to show we contribute to the union." My jaw dropped. "She what? She promised my house to Chad's parents to impress them?" "She didn't promise it," Dad stammered. "She just said it was in the family portfolio. Look, honey, if you don't do this, your mother looks like a liar. Chad loses face. They might call off the wedding. Is that what you want? To ruin your sister's happiness over bricks and mortar?" Yes, I do. If her happiness is built on stealing my home, then let it burn." Dad's face hardened. The mask slipped. "You know, you're just like your grandmother. Stubborn, spiteful. You have enough. Why do you need to watch your sister struggle? Just sign a lease to own. Give them a heavily discounted rent. Something. Get out," I whispered. Then louder. "Get out of my house, Dad." He left, but not before muttering, "Don't expect an invite to Christmas." Don't worry, Dad. I wasn't planning on coming. The intruder. Here is where it gets scary. Yesterday afternoon, around 2 p.m., my doorbell rang. Mark was at the office, so I was alone. I checked the Ring camera. It was a man in a polo shirt holding a clipboard and a laser measure. I opened the door a crack, keeping the chain on. "Can I help you?" "Hi there," the guy said, cheerful as can be. "I'm here from..." "I have an appointment to measure the master suite and the nursery for the demo?" I froze. "Excuse me? What demo?" He checked his clipboard. "Order for Maya," last name. She said the keys would be under the mat, but they weren't, so I thought I'd knock. We're scheduled to knock down the wall between the master and the second bedroom to create an open concept suite. My blood ran cold. They were actively sending contractors to my house to quote renovations for a house they do not own. "Sir?" I said, my voice shaking. "This is my house. My name is on the deed. Maya does not live here. She has no authority to hire you. If you touch my property, I will call the police." The guy looked horrified. "Whoa, lady, I'm sorry. I have a signed work order here from Amaya. Look, I'm leaving." He practically ran to his van. I called Mark immediately. He left work early and came home. We sat down and decided we needed to know exactly who we were dealing with. Why was Chad so desperate? Why were my parents pushing this so hard, beyond just the usual golden child nepotism? The discovery. Mark has a friend, let's call him Jim, who works as a paralegal and has access to some comprehensive background check software. We gave him Chad's full name and info. Jim called us back 3 hours ago. "OP, you need to sit down. Chad isn't just an entrepreneur. He's a walking liability. He has 3 different judgments against him for unpaid business loans totaling over $150,000. He is currently being sued by a former landlord for gutting a rental property without permission. Sound familiar? And here's the kicker. He lied about his age. He's not 28, he's 34. But the worst part? We found a lien search. 2 weeks ago, someone attempted to use my address, Nana's house, as collateral for a hard money loan. The application was denied because the name on the title didn't match the applicant, but the applicant listed was Chad, last name. They weren't just asking for the house as a gift. They were planning to leverage it immediately to pay off his debts. They were going to mortgage my inheritance to save his ass, and when he inevitably defaulted, the bank would have taken Nana's home. I showed the documents to Mark. He didn't say a word. He just walked to the closet, took out his baseball bat, and set it by the front door. Then he went to the computer and started typing. "What are you doing?" I asked. "I'm drafting a cease and desist," he said. "And tomorrow, we're getting a lawyer. And cameras. More cameras." I thought that was the end of the day, but 10 minutes ago, I got a notification from my security system. Motion detected. Backyard gate. I check the feed. It's Maya. She's in my backyard, and she has a brick in her hand. I have to go. I'm calling 911. Time passed since last update. 3 weeks. Buckle up, everyone. If you thought the last post was a roller coaster, the last 3 weeks have been a train wreck inside a dumpster fire. I am writing this from a hotel room. We aren't staying at the house right now. Not because we can't, but because Mark insists we need a few days of neutral territory to lower our cortisol levels. I'm inclined to agree. The night of the brick. Picking up exactly where I left off, I saw Maya on the Ring camera in the backyard. I called 911 immediately. My sister is in my backyard. She has a weapon. She's threatened me before. While I was on the phone with the dispatcher, I heard it. The sound of tempered glass exploding is distinct. It doesn't tinkle, it roars. She threw the brick through the French doors leading into the sunroom, Nana's favorite room, the one with all her orchids. I screamed. Mark ran to the back of the house with his bat, but he didn't go outside. He stood by the broken door, yelling at her to stay back. "Get on the ground, Maya! Cops are on the way!" Maya wasn't fleeing. She was climbing through the broken glass. She was screaming like a banshee. "It's mine! It's my house! You can't lock me out of my own nursery!" She cut her hands on the jagged glass. Blood was everywhere. She managed to get one leg inside before the sirens wailed out front. 2 officers burst into the backyard, guns drawn, flashlights cutting through the rain. Watching your little sister get handcuffed face down in a pile of wet glass while screaming that she's pregnant and the owner of the property is surreal. The police asked for ID. She didn't have it. They asked for proof of residence. She screamed, "Ask my mother." They asked me, "Ma'am, is this your property?" I handed them the deed and my ID without saying a word. They arrested her for destruction of property, trespassing, and resisting arrest. She tried to bite an officer. As they shoved her into the cruiser, she locked eyes with me through the window. It wasn't fear. It was pure, unadulterated hatred. The fallout. Days 1 to 3. Maya spent the night in jail. My parents bailed her out the next morning. Then, the onslaught began. My mother didn't ask if I was okay. She didn't ask about the damage to the house. Approximately $4,500 to replace the custom vintage doors and clean the biohazard blood spill. She sent me an email. Just an email. Subject line, family settlement. OP, we have bailed Maya out. She is traumatized. You have caused irreparable harm to her stress levels and the baby. However, we are willing to forgive you if you drop the charges immediately. We will pay for the window replacement over the next 24 months in installments. In exchange, you will sign a document granting Maya a right of use for the property so she feels secure. If you do not drop the charges, we will be forced to expose your mental instability to your employer. I didn't reply. I forwarded the email to my lawyer. Let's call him Mr. Shark. Mr. Shark laughed. Actually laughed. He said, "This is extortion. Add it to the pile." The restraining order hearing. 10 days ago, we went to court for the permanent restraining order, order of protection. My parents hired a family friend to represent Maya, a guy who usually does traffic tickets. I walked into the courtroom with Mark and Mr. Shark. Maya was there, looking frail and wearing a baggy sweater to hide her non-existent baby bump. My mom and dad were sitting behind her, glaring daggers at me. The judge, an older woman with zero patience, looked over the police report. "Ms. Maya, the report states you threw a landscaping brick through the victim's glass door and attempted to enter the premise. Is this correct?" Maya's lawyer stood up. "Your Honor, my client was under extreme duress. She was under the impression that the home was family property. It was a misunderstanding exacerbated by pregnancy hormones." The judge looked over her glasses. "Pregnancy? Do you have medical documentation for this pregnancy?" Maya shifted in her seat. "I took a home test." "I see," the judge said. Then she turned to me. "OP, you are the sole owner?" "Yes, Your Honor. Here is the deed, the will, and the text messages from her fiancé attempting to take out a fraudulent loan on the property 2 weeks ago." The judge's eyebrows shot up. She read the file Mr. Shark handed her. The courtroom went deadly silent. Order of protection granted. 5 years. No contact, direct or indirect. No third-party contact. That includes you. She pointed the gavel at my parents in the gallery. If you contact the plaintiff on her behalf, you will be held in contempt. Ms. Maya, you are ordered to stay 500 yards away from the plaintiff and her property. Violation is an immediate arrest. My mom stood up. You can't do this. We are a family. She's stealing our inheritance. Bailiff, the judge said, bored. Remove them. The twist. Remember Chad? The entrepreneur? Mr. Shark did some digging. It turns out when Chad tried to get that hard money loan on my house, he committed wire fraud. Mr. Shark tipped off the lender. 3 days after the court hearing, Chad was picked up on a warrant for fraud and outstanding warrants in another state. Guess who called me? Chad's mom. The old money matriarch my mother was trying to impress. She called me. She found my number through Mark's LinkedIn, of all things. Is this OP? This is Catherine, Chad's mother. I just wanted to inform you that we have spoken to the police. We had no idea Chad was involved with your sister's scheme. We have cut him off. And for the record, your mother told us you were the one renting the house from Maya. I almost dropped the phone. My mother had lied to everyone. She built an entire alternate reality where Maya was the successful homeowner and I was the charity case just to land a rich son-in-law. The explosion. Yesterday, the reality finally hit my parents. Chad is in jail and likely going to prison. Maya has a criminal record, a restraining order, and is facing trial for the felony property damage. The DA decided to press charges because of the value of the vintage doors. The wedding is off. My dad showed up at Mark's workplace. He couldn't come to the house because of the RO, but the RO didn't cover Mark's office specifically yet. We are fixing that. He caused a scene in the lobby. Mark! Tell her to stop! You're ruining us! The legal fees are destroying our retirement. Just drop the charges and give her the money. Security escorted him out. Mark called me, his voice shaking with rage. OP, they aren't going to stop. We need to go scorched earth. So, we did. We sent a formal cease and desist to every aunt, uncle, and cousin who has been harassing us. We put the house on a vacation watch with the local police. And Mr. Shark is currently drafting a defamation lawsuit against my mother for the lies she told Chad's family and my employer. Yes, she actually tried to call my boss to say I was a drug addict, but my boss knows me and just laughed it off. I haven't spoken to my mother since the courtroom, but she left a voicemail on Mark's phone last night. You won, OP. You destroyed your sister. I hope that house keeps you warm at night, because you have no mother anymore. You are dead to us. I listened to it 3 times. And then, I deleted it. I cried for an hour. I mourned the mother I never really had. And then, I packed a bag, and we came to this hotel. Tomorrow, we go back to the house to meet with the contractors to fix the door. We are installing shatterproof glass this time, but I have a feeling this isn't over. Maya's court date for the criminal charges is next month, and a narcissist with nothing left to lose is the most dangerous thing in the world. Time passed since last update. 2 years. Hi, Reddit. It's been a long time. I honestly didn't think I would ever log back into this account. For the first year, just seeing the Reddit icon on my phone made my heart race. But I'm sitting on my back porch right now, watching the sun go down over a view that looks nothing like the one I grew up with. And I finally feel ready to close this chapter. A lot has happened. The dust has settled, but the landscape of my life is completely different. The legal conclusion. Let's start with the immediate aftermath of the night of the brick. Maya's court case dragged on for 6 months. My parents spent every dime of their savings on a high-end criminal defense attorney, hoping to get the charges dropped or reduced to a misdemeanor. They painted Maya as a confused, pregnant young woman who was the victim of a greedy sister. But the pregnancy defense fell apart fast. The court ordered a medical evaluation because her lawyer claimed the stress of the arrest caused a miscarriage. The medical records came back blank. There was no baby. There never was. It was a fabrication to lock down Chad and guilt-trip me into signing over the deed. When the prosecutor revealed that in open court, my mother actually gasped. Not because she was horrified by the lie, but because the lie stopped working. Maya eventually took a plea deal to avoid jail time. She pleaded guilty to felony vandalism and stalking. The sentence: 3 years of probation, mandatory anger management and psychiatric therapy, restitution for the damage to the house, $6,800 total after legal fees, a permanent criminal record. She didn't look at me during the sentencing. She just cried. Loud, theatrical sobs. The judge, bless her, wasn't having it. Young lady, tears do not wash away actions. You are 27 years old. It is time to grow up. Chad's fate. Chad, the entrepreneur, didn't get off so easy. The wire fraud investigation that Mr. Shark triggered uncovered a massive scheme involving PPP loan fraud and identity theft. He is currently serving a 5-year sentence in federal prison. His old money parents? They went scorched earth on my family. They sued my parents for the money they had invested in the wedding, claiming fraud. It didn't go to court, but the legal threat alone terrified my dad into settling. The parents. The extinction burst. This is the hard part. After the sentencing, I maintained strict no contact, NC. Blocked numbers, filtered emails, returned letters. About a year ago, they tried one last extinction burst. I was at work. I got a promotion, by the way, and the receptionist called me to the front desk. There's a package for you, OP. It was a box. No return address. Inside was a collection of my childhood items. My old teddy bear, ripped. Photo albums, with my face cut out of every picture. And a letter. Since you have chosen money over family, we are removing all traces of you from our lives. You are a cancer. Do not come to our funerals. Maya is the only daughter we have left. It hurt. I won't lie and say it didn't. It felt like mourning a death. But Mark held me while I cried, and then we threw the box in the dumpster. I didn't want their haunted artifacts. The house. This was the biggest decision. After the trial, Mark and I moved back into Nana's house. But it felt different. Every time I looked at the sunroom doors, I saw Maya's face screaming through the glass. Every time a car slowed down outside, I flinched. Nana's house was a gift of love, but it had become a monument to a war. So we made a choice. We sold it. The market was hot. We sold it to a lovely young couple who didn't know the history and just saw a beautiful Victorian with good bones. We took the money, Nana's true legacy, and we moved. Far away. We bought a farmhouse on 5 acres about 3 hours north. It's quiet here. We have chickens. We have a garden. We have peace. Where we are now, Mark is doing amazing. He started his own consultancy firm, and without the stress of my family, he looks 10 years younger. As for me, I'm doing well. Therapy has helped a lot. I've realized that I didn't lose a family. I escaped a cult. And there is one more thing. I'm looking down at the baby monitor right now. We have a son, Leo. He is 6 months old. He has Mark's eyes and my nose. He is the happiest, chunkiest little guy you've ever seen. My parents don't know he exists. Maya doesn't know. They never will. Leo will never be compared to a golden child. He will never be asked to give up his toys to keep the peace. He will never know the sound of his grandmother screaming. Nana's inheritance didn't just give us a house, Reddit. It gave us the freedom to break the cycle. Sometimes, I imagine Nana sitting on this porch with me, sipping tea. I think she'd be proud. Not that I kept the house, but that I kept my sanity. So, to anyone reading this who is stuck in the fog, fear, obligation, guilt, get out. The air is so much cleaner on the other side. This is you/inheritance away, signing off for good. Thank you for listening.